since we missed a couple of days, and since we aren't really going straight day by day by day by day, we're going to go into the Celebrate Recovery devotional. We're going to skip a couple of days from where the marker was at, which may or may not be what we read last. It's just where we're jumping back into, and we're going to jump into day 339. Probably should jump into day 338, but we're just going with what we got. It's titled, day 339 is titled The Puzzle. All have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. Romans 3:23. One Sunday afternoon, a father was trying to take a nap, but his little boy kept bugging him, saying, "Daddy, I'm bored." So, trying to occupy him with the game, the dad found a picture of the world in his newspaper. He cut it to pieces and said, "Son, see if you can put this puzzle back together." Could you imagine doing that today? If there even is a puzzle in the newspaper? I don't even know that there is a newspaper anymore in a lot of places. Kind of a sad shame too, because the things that brought families together. I remember my dad reading the newspaper. I remember my mother reading the newspaper. I remember when we would go and visit my aunt and uncle, or when they would come and visit, they'd read the newspaper. The things that kept our families and communities together and that were important have slowly vanished. I've said this before, and I've posted the picture, and I know that I'm off, but we'll loop back around to it. Growing up, we had a community post office, had several of them in southeastern Kentucky. The one that we had, you gathered around in the morning, you knew when the lady from the main post office was coming through. We all knew who she was. We knew her name. We said hi to her, spoke to her. "How you doing? How's your family?" Blah, 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 blah. She'd bring the mail in. As it would be sorted and put into each boxes, those of us that were waiting in the community, we'd chit-chat with each other. We'd talk about each other. We knew what was going on in our community. We knew who was sick. We knew who needed whatever. We knew whatever. We just knew. Or when something would happen, we knew. And it's now, way before my dad died, the lady that was the postmaster of that little post office, when she retired, the post office decided to close that post office. And for the first time in decades, a mailbox was put on the property. We didn't have one for decades, for generations. And my dad made the comment. He said, when a community loses its when an area loses its post office, it loses its community. And his words were spot on. It took a while because the older ones in the community still held things together. They still kept in touch with. They still talked. And even now, we have good neighbors. Don't get me wrong, not even, but we don't have the same connection because we don't see each other every day. Even there are times that I go home, and especially if it's a quick trip, I may not see sis. I may not see either one of my sisters. And I can't tell you the last time I seen my little brother. Because the community has gone from that area. Your community is not just a bunch of people living in a space. It's a bunch of people coming together, knowing each other and helping each other. Don't know where that came from because I'm not sure it even fits into this, but we're going to hop back over here. We went from newspaper to there. The dad lay back down to finish his nap, thinking the map would keep his son busy for at least an hour or so. But in about 15 minutes, the little guy woke him up. Daddy, it's all put back together. You're kidding, the dad marveled. He knew his son didn't know all that much geography, so he asked, how did you do it? It was easy. There was a picture of a person on the back of the map. So when I got my person put together, the world looked just fine. Maybe I hit that before we read it. Anyway, we got a little ahead of ourselves. When we first enter recovery, our lives are like that puzzle, aren't they? In pieces, scattered randomly. We don't even know where to begin the process of recovery. But God does, and He puts us back together, placing each piece where it belongs. We shouldn't worry about what our world looks like now. Our lives take shape. The world around us will take shape as well. Father, my life was not a pretty picture. I was badly broken and scattered. Thank you for putting me and my world back together. In Jesus' name, amen. When you lose your community and it becomes nothing more than people who just live in the same area, that's a huge loss. In recovery, you need your community. You need your people. I'm living proof. I do better when I'm in touch with my community than when I'm not. Little transparency. So y'all have a good day. Remember, I am the mayor's daughter. These are a little lengthy today, but I guess we're making up for not doing them yesterday. Have a good one. See you. Bye.